Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Lukovic at Balance Point Health Center, and I'm here with Karina and Kaylee. And we thought we would hop on and talk a little bit about, actually, it's a success story that we want to share for someone who went through our gut health program this past spring. And we thought you'd be interested to hear a little bit about her story and her experiences after going through this program. But before we get to you, Kaylee, I'm going to talk to Karina first. Karina, do you want to just introduce yourself quickly and let everyone know what your background is and what your role is in the gut health program?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. So I'm Karina Kretu. I'm a holistic nutritionist and live blood technician or analyst. It's my pleasure and honor to offer these services at Balance Point Health Center, where we see all kinds of clients with all kinds of problems. But my niche is gut health I take a holistic approach. We try to take a holistic approach, and Linda's going to talk a little bit more about it. But that's what I do.
Yeah, that's great. And the gut is so complicated, right? There are so many things when it comes to the gut, and that's exactly why we put this program together. So just really quickly, the program it involves seeing Karina. So Karina is a nutritionist, like she mentioned, and also a live blood analyst. And we found that this tool is really helpful on a lot of different levels. First of all, you get to visually see what's happening in your body just by looking at your cells, your immune system, and how it's kind of working. You can see your gut health in your cells. And so that's pretty cool. So we involve that. We also take a look at you structurally and what's happening in the physiology of your body with our osteopaths. So you get to visit one of our osteopathic manual therapists, and they take a look at all your digestive organs and make sure things are working well there. And then you also get to see our naturopath, who does some food testing, because we know that sometimes sensitivities to different foods can cause issues with the gut, and we can talk more about that later. And then you get to see Karina for accountability and feedback along the way, because one thing that we have learned is that one appointment is just not going to do it. It does take coaching, and it takes a time period with support along the way to get you to where you want to be with your gut health. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And it generally runs, would you say, about kind of on average 3 months? It depends on the person. Yeah. Everyone goes through it at a different pace. So we kind of just go with where you're at and meet you there. So anyways, we ran it last spring, like I mentioned, and Kaylee was amazing. She did really well through the programs. We thought we would love to have her talk about it. So Kaylee, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And do you want to, I thought it'd be really interesting for you to share a little bit about what brought you to the program. Like, how did you find it? Why did you even think of doing a program like this?
Sure. I've really struggled with digestive issues as long as I remember. So throughout my entire adult life, and really probably during my teenage years, it's just not as front of mind for me. So I got to a point, I'm in my mid 30s now, where I just kind of felt fed up and tired of going through the motions and not feeling like anything was working. So I just did a Google search of what was kind of available in terms of testing or other investigations sort of beyond what my family doctor had already done. And I found Balance Point and booked a discovery call with you. And we talked about the gut health program. And I had done osteopath before. I'd worked with a naturopath before, but I'd never done that kind of a cohesive program. And I really liked the idea of having sort of all of those professionals focused on figuring out kind of what we can do to make things better for me and really improve my quality of life, because it was getting to the point where, I felt limited in what I could do. And my day-to-day was a struggle. A lot of days were really challenging. So that's how I found you. And I've remained part of the practice to this day. So yeah.
That's great. No, thank you so much for sharing. And it's interesting. And I'm sure that you're not, and people are going to be really able to identify with the fact that it has been going on a long time. And because, with gut health issues, it is often one of those things that you sort of ignore because you're kind of okay. Yeah. And so, so you kind of just keep going, right? Yeah. But I think it's great that you kind of took it seriously and thought, that's enough. I want to really make some changes.
Yeah.
So was there one symptom or a couple of symptoms that you're comfortable sharing without getting too graphic? I don't.
Sure. It doesn't, yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's
Okay.
so
Okay.
I had been dealing with sort of fluctuating between constipation and diarrhea for 15 years,
Okay.
as well as just a chronic bloat, more or less.
Okay.
So it started to feel like no matter what I ate, even though I had eliminated a lot of things that I was sure were the cause of some disruption, or were I had a sensitivity to, dairy or legumes or whatever. I'd eliminate those foods along the way, but yet I was still experiencing these symptoms chronically. So it was just sort of feeling discomfort from here to here, all the time, and not really knowing. Every meal was like a roll of the dice for me.
Right.
And I do a lot of traveling, so throwing travel into the mix where I'm not at home and I'm not able to cook my own food, it was really a struggle, and I just started getting frustrated, and and I never knew what I was going to get, but it was sort of
And
a
that's,
range of symptoms.
that's so stressful too, right? Like especially when you're traveling.
Yeah,
and
and then
you're like, what's going to
worse.
happen?
Yeah, and then that worry in itself probably caused some of those symptoms as well. So yeah,
exactly. And that's exactly why we look at this holistically. Do you want to talk to that a little bit in terms of what you found with Kaylee and some of the things that how the program helped?
I think one of the most important things we have as part of this program is the initial live blood analysis, which is an overall look into your body and the functioning of its organs as they relate to your gut health. People may not know, but we are able to uncover things like gut dysbiosis, which is a big problem for a lot of people. And you do get symptoms like just similar to what Kaylee has just described. A lot of people live in this constant bloating, gas, constipation, space every day. And they find no resolution through other means. So I think doing the live blood analysis as a first intervention is critical, because it gives us a starting point. And so that's what we did with Kaylee. That was the first thing we did. And so we uncovered a lot of the things she's just mentioned, which put us on the right path to addressing things in order. I think it's very important to address things in order, not to rush into say healing the gut, right? Because there's stages. When we heal the gut, we repopulate the gut. There's 4 stages, which we're not going to get into right now. It's part of the program, but I think it's important to do things in order. So before you start to heal the gut, you have to get rid of pathogens or look at food sensitivities. So there's building blocks and step by step. So we do it step by step, basically. I think that's great. That's what I like about it.
I'm wondering if I'm just going to backtrack, and do you mind? I know, because we might have people watching that really have no idea what a dysbiosis is. Do you mind kind of talking to that a little bit?
Sure.
Like, what is it? How would you explain that to someone who maybe has never heard that term?
Sure. So very simply put, dysbiosis is an imbalance in your gut flora. So we have trillions and trillions of microbes in our gut, not only in our gut, but also on our body, all over us. We have more microbial DNA than human DNA, actually. But this gut microbiota, these gut microbes, they live in a very delicate balance in our gut. And it's a symbiotic balance between ourselves, our organs, and these microbes, which we sometimes consider bad. But we need people to know that bacteria can be bad, but it can also be good. So we want to maintain a nice, healthy balance of good bacteria to bad bacteria. We don't want to have too much of the bad guys in relation to the good guys. When that happens and we start feeling imbalanced, that means we have crossed the bridge onto the dysbiotic stage, when we start experiencing all these gut symptoms and sometimes neurological symptoms as well, like brain fog and exhaustion and so on and so forth. But basically, that's what dysbiosis is an imbalance in your gut flora. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's a great definition. Thank you for explaining that.
Yes.
So Kaylee, back over to you. So what do you feel out of the whole program was the most effective thing to help you kind of feel better?
Sure. Well, the live blood analysis was really fascinating to me. Being able to kind of see in real time what's going on in my body at a cellular level for me was like fascinating. And I've been back for subsequent sessions, even beyond the program, because I just found, working with Karina and her recommendations based on what she saw were extremely successful in my body. And it wasn't just take the supplement, do this. It was a lot of healing my body with food, taking healthy, what I considered healthy foods out of my diet based on the testing that I did with the naturopath, building in more nutritional diversity with other foods that I would never have chosen because I was so limited in thinking, okay, these 5 foods, I feel okay. So this is all I'm going to eat. But that was actually hurting me in a lot of ways. So just having that kind of, okay, let's try this for, 4 or 6 weeks and then come back and see me, and being able to actually see the benefit of what we had done was amazing. And I'm a results driven person. So that was like fueled my fire big time. So yeah, I think it was a combination of the food testing, actually committing myself to removing those foods and focusing on bringing in new, more, nutritionally diverse foods, changing the way I shop for food, the way that I think about food, the way that I, prepare my food, and just having that consistent follow-up along the way to be like, this is working, maybe this isn't working, let's try tweaking this, try introducing this food, try maybe limiting this food. Working with my body's kind of natural response was what I really liked. And obviously working with such a supportive team was beneficial as well, because it was difficult, like it was stressful at times and it was frustrating. And you guys understand that because this is what you do. And you're used to people like me who are just like, I don't even know. I don't even want to eat anymore. Like it's just not working for me. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
I love the fact that you mentioned a change in how you think about food. I really love that. And I think that's a very, very important element in this program and in our practice in general, because there's so much confusion out there. And there's so many things just recently, both Linda and I think we came across some so-called healthy food items that were full of pesticides and some other toxic elements. And just to know that you have someone you can talk to, someone with expertise and experience, someone who can guide you and support you into making new food choices. I think that's a very, very powerful element of this program, and just thinking differently about food.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm going to wrap this up. I know everyone's busy, but you know what I would love, Kelly? I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. But can you think of one word that you felt, or one way that you felt at the end of the program? What would that word be? Or that feeling, or that thought? For anyone who might be kind of in your position way back.
Like my physical feeling? Anything. Or just anything? I felt fantastic when I finished that program. Like I really did. I felt like my bloating was gone, which had never happened in my life. Like I felt so different in my body, and I had so much less anxiety around eating and around digesting food. And yeah, I felt great. I felt like this is what I was looking for my whole life, and I finally achieved it. So yeah, it felt fantastic. I guess that's my word.
That's great. That's great. Well, we love to hear that. We love it when people feel amazing and can then go on and be their best in the world, because right. So anyways, we're going to wrap it up there. And thank you guys for joining us. If you are interested in our gut health program and just want to learn a little bit more about it, make sure that you go ahead and book a discovery call. We can have a chat and figure out whether this is the right program for you. All right. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.